Hi guys, welcome back to Hair Dry Treatment. I'm shaking my head because I'm just reading some stats. When Herrera is in the team, and I'm going to dive straight into this one. When Herrera is in the team, the effect that he has on Paul Pogba is incredible. So I'm going to start off with the biggest stat of them all. The win rate when Herrera is in the team alongside Pogba is 82%. When Herrera isn't there, Paul Pogba's win rate is 38%. Absolutely crazy, the difference. And that's what I'm not saying. And Herrera, as you all know, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of him. But I have to be honest, I know that he's not the most technically gifted player. I'm not saying he's the best player at the club by any means. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying he's a team player. And the effect that he has on the other players in the midfield is ridiculous. Like, he transforms our midfield. And when he isn't there, like I've just said, the win rate for Paul Pogba is 38%. Whereas when Herrera did play, the win rate was 82%. And I just think the difference is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm absolutely gutted that Herrera is gone. I really am. The board now definitely need to replace him. I don't have much faith in our board, I'll be completely honest. So I don't fully believe that we will replace Herrera, which is why this deal for me is more baffling. When you've got the likes of Jones, Smalling, and Ashley Young on new contracts, and we let someone like Herrera slip through our fingers, it's just, for me, it is an absolute joke. I'm gutted. I didn't comment on it yesterday because, to be honest, I was very frustrated by it, and I thought I'll hold off a bit. I've looked at some of the stats, and it isn't making it any easier for me. So, 11 games with Herrera, 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 goal involvements, and 17 chances created for Paul Pogba. And then the difference without Herrera is ridiculous. So if we look at goals, for example, without Herrera, Paul Pogba has scored 3. And this is, bearing in mind, this is since Solskjaer has come in. Assists, Pogba's had 1 assist when Herrera has not played. So the difference in Paul Pogba alone, which is the player that we want to get the best out of, is magnificent. And Herrera got the best out of Paul Pogba, in my opinion. And the deals that we are making as a club are just baffling me at the minute. And today, we are playing against Cardiff, and I've been offered so many tickets for that game, but obviously I'm playing myself, which is one reason why I'm not going. But the other reason is that at the minute, I'm just done. I'm just thinking, you know what, I just want this season to end, and I can't be doing it with it right now because decisions in the background are not being made to please us fans. They really aren't. And yesterday just topped it off for me, topped off an awful season. We all obviously heard rumours that he was going, but even that video was like a kick in the teeth. The video from Herrera, he obviously loves United. And people keep saying, what do you mean by he gets it? He gets it. Well, if you look, the amount of people who played for United over this last season, how many of them can you say actually put the effort in that Herrera put in? How many of them actually had the desire on the pitch and the passion like Herrera did? None of them. And like I've already said, people are saying that Herrera has played poor. For me, he transformed down midfield, and I think he had a pretty decent season in that midfield. When he played, he definitely brought that balance, and we definitely missed him. So I'm absolutely gutted about it. I was really, really sad yesterday, and like I say, reading those stats, it's just made it even worse for me. But we move on. Obviously, today is a massive, massive day in terms of the title. Now, as a United fan, we all know what we want. We want City to obviously get the league today. That's what we want. But you know what, Brighton away, it's a tricky one. People are writing Brighton off, but I'm not. Definitely I'm not. And I've got a horrible feeling that there's going to be a big twist today. Of course, I'm hoping that does not happen, but you never know. But at the same time, Wolves have already won at Anfield in the FA Cup before. That could also happen. They've taken points off the top 6. My only doubt about Wolves today is the fact that it's last game of the season. They haven't really got anything to play for other than pride at Anfield. Are they already realistically going to be on holiday? So, yeah, I see some people commenting on Herrera's wages. Yeah, I get that he was asking for a lot of wages, and people say that wages shouldn't come into it if you love the club you play. But obviously, we forget that these players have got agents, and the club should never let it get the contract get so little. The club should never have run the contract down like they always do. And for me, it was a big mistake on behalf of the board, and I do not blame Ander Herrera. I'm absolutely gutted to see him go, but I do not blame him personally. I really don't. Wolves masterclass incoming. Wolves will get a draw. A lot of people expecting Wolves to get something. Like I say, it depends what their mindset is today going into this. They've proven they can take points off the top 6, off United especially. They have already won at Anfield before, so I'm not completely writing them off, but I think it all depends on their mindset, to be honest, today. James Arnold, thank you so much for the super chat. He says the Glazers will have to spend, or the fans will revolt. The fans need to revolt, to be honest with you. Like I've said, I could have gone today for free, and I haven't. I'm choosing to play for my team instead, but at the same time I was also thinking, you know what, I'm done this season. I cannot be asked to sit there and watch the players give a parade at the end of the game for that share of shit that we've experienced all season. I can't sit through that. I'm sorry, but I just can't. And if I was advising any fans at the game today, I would say walk out before that as well. just to prove a point. But obviously, unfollow United has been going around Twitter. I haven't unfollowed United. I won't unfollow United. But you know what? Fair play to the people who have. Football is a game of opinions, and if you think that unfollowing United is going to make a stance, then go for it. That's my genuine opinion. We have lost out on 30 million for Herrera. Exactly. We should not have let that contract run down at all. If the club had given him a contract 12 or 18 months ago, he would have gladly signed a reasonable contract, Ed. Exactly, Sally's spot on. We let it run down as a club. We shouldn't have done that. We should not have done that at all. Really, really bad business. And it's not the first time we've said that, has it? Like I say, Jones, Smalling, Young, all getting contracts. And these are all players who are simply not good enough. And in terms of today's game against Cardiff, I would love to see us put out a youthful setup. But at the same time, I want to see Ander Herrera given the send-off that he deserves. And that doesn't look like it's going to happen. But I wanted to see Herrera play and be given the send-off that he deserved. Because like I say, he always gave 100% for the club. He obviously loves United. He's going, and it's because of the treatment from the board. It's the reason why he's going. And like I said, I feel I feel gutted about the whole situation. And I was hoping today he would be given a send-off, but we shall see. But the likes of Mason Greenwood, Gomez, Garner, Chong, I would love to see all those players play today. I think we need to see the youth. We need to start planning for the future. And playing the likes of Jones and Smalling isn't going to do that. Valencia, obviously, is a bit of a different one because he's going to be going as well. And I do believe he will be given the send-off today. Whether he'll start, I don't know, but he'll definitely feature in today's game. Why the hell did they even sign Jones and Smalling, etc.? It just doesn't make sense. In all fairness, Phil Jones, when we did sign him, people named him the new Duncan Edwards. He was a really, really bright prospect. He was the kind of United signing that we like to make, where he was playing at Blackburn at the time and he stood out and he looked fantastic. He come to United and I think the step up was just too much for him. He just... Don't get me wrong, at times we've seen Phil Jones make some beastly tackles. And you got to say, he always does put his head where it hurts. Look at some of the faces we've seen Phil Jones pull over the years. But it's just simply not good enough. He's always got a mistake in him, and I think that's the problem with Phil Jones. I wouldn't say it's an effort thing or anything like that. I just don't think he is good enough for United. And it's a shame, but it's the truth. Hope, Matic, Young, Jones, Smalling, Lingard next, too many deadwood. So that's who Ahmed wants to see us get rid of. There's definitely a big list of players that I would also like us to get rid of. And I agree with all the ones you've just mentioned there. I think there's a lot of players who aren't good enough at United. And that's been proven over this past season or so. But like I say, we're giving contracts to players who definitely do not deserve them as well. Hi, Patrick. Hope you're good. 679 Shaw says Man United are a joke. I can't disagree with that one, to be honest with you. Someone's asking me why the channel is called Hairdryer Treatment. Go and do some research. Why is your channel called Hairdryer Treatment? 770 million spent, average point gap of 18 points, works out 46 million a point, and now 29 points behind, works out about 1.2 billion behind. That's a lot of numbers there, duty to entertain. Mystery is coming out with all the maths, a bit too early for me. But no, you're right. At the end of the day, we've spent money and we haven't spent it wisely, have we? If you look at our transfers, it's been an absolute joke, which is why we do point the finger at the board. Edward, you've got to say the Glaciers as well. Obviously, it's just a business to them, and as long as money is coming in, that is it. They're not bothered. They're not bothered about winning things because they're bothered about the money lying in their pockets. And as fans, we keep supporting that. We do. But you know what? If you love the club, you love the club, and that's just the way it is. I think you are right, Mystery. We are falling further and further behind. Our transfers have made it worse for us because if you look at the likes of signings that Liverpool made, for example, Mane, who for me I think should have been up for player of the year. Personally, I think Mane has been superb this season. If you look, they signed him from Southampton, and I think we should have been in for that deal. And that's the kind of signing that frustrates me because he's been absolutely fantastic. And I think, if I'm being completely honest, City's signings as well, if you look at City's second 11, it's better than our first 11. And they've got so much strength in depth. Whereas we've kept loyal to too many players, the likes of Jones, Smalling and Young. We've kept loyal to players like that when we shouldn't have. We should have moved on. And I think that as a club now, we need to be more ruthless with players. We really do. We've had too many players living off the club's name. The likes of Rojo, for example, simply not good enough, too rash for me. And we need to strengthen. We need to strengthen massively, and it's not going to be a quick fix. I don't think in this summer we could sign 10 players this summer, and that still wouldn't do it for us. That's how bad the situation is for us at the minute. I'm seeing that we're linked to James from Swansea. I'm actually excited at that signing because I think that's the kind of signing we need to make. Young, hungry players who are going to absolutely idolise Manchester United, and they're going to play for the badge. Not Galacticos. We don't need players like that anymore. So the James signing, I actually am excited by, and I would like us to make that deal. 15 million is a rumoured price. Why not? Why not go in for that? You look at like Dele Alli at Spurs. That was the kind of signing they made. And don't get me wrong, Dele Alli I don't particularly rate massively. I think he's a bit overrated, but He's better than what we've got at the minute, and that's what upsets me. I think people are moaning about this James deal because they're expecting us to sign big names. Not me. I don't want big names in our club. I want players who are going to be hungry for the badge. So I'm actually very, very excited at that deal. Michael Jones says, very true, Sophie. Ollie needs to rebuild with his own players, but not the deadwood. Exactly. We need to start from scratch. We really do. We've stayed loyal to players for too long and we're falling further and further behind, and I'm sick of us doing that anymore. At the end of the day, we've got to take the moral high ground and say, you know what, what's more important, staying loyal to players or winning stuff as a football club, and that's what we need to get back to doing. City are ruthless. We need to do the same. We need to be patient. It's a long rebuild. Get rid of the deadwood now. Exactly. But if you're saying get rid of the deadwood right now, it's not going to happen that quickly. We're not just going to sign 10 players this summer and then it's going to be an immediate fix. It's going to take a lot of time because Ollie really does need to build us from scratch again. He needs to build his own philosophy, his own team, because let's face it, the class of 92 was a one-off. It's not really going to happen again, is it? Obviously, we could get close to it, and I hope we do, but it was a one-off. So we've been living on that for too long. We've been living in the Stone Ages, expecting us to get another class of 92. It's not going to happen. So we need to find a philosophy. We need to start from scratch, and we need to start competing with the likes of City and Liverpool again. Because at the minute we're just falling further and further behind, and transfers have definitely added into that. The new players we're bringing should force out the deadwood when they have not a place in the squad. Fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I just thought we appointed top director of football. It's imperative. Says Sally, I do agree. Ed's disastrous scattergun approach for ex-players rather than someone who is a forward-thinking, qualified is ridiculous. I'd take Paul Mitchell, Van der Sar. Van der Sar, for me, I was actually talking to Sean Gota at the FBA's the other day. He was sat next to me on my table, Sean Gota, City legend, and we were talking about United and the situation we were in, and we were talking about how Man City, they've got it running perfectly there. They really have. And he was saying, like, if Man City did get a transfer ban for 2 seasons, their squad is still strong enough realistically to get them through. Yes, the likes of Company will probably be gone by then, but they've still got enough backup. Laporte, Stones, Otamendi. They've still got enough centre-backs to fill that gap. Aguero, he said, maybe the only one, but Gabriel Jesus can come and fill them boots, hopefully. And he was saying that the strong position they're in. And he was saying that for him, looking from the outside, there's an arrogance about United where we're living off the history and we're not living in the current moment, which I completely agree with. I just referred to the class of 92. We're still living on that. And you know what? I had a really good chat with him, and he also said that if you're looking at the director of football, he said definitely need one. And he says, why not Van der Sar? Because United legend, he's got experience in the role and he's done very, very well there as well at Ajax, of course, if you look at their Champions League run this season, just as a bit of a hint. But obviously, of course, he knows United through and through as well. He's got experience doing the role. For me, he would be the one that I would want at United. He's only stands out because he's got the experience there. Obviously, Rio Ferdinand was spoken about. Darren Fletcher's been spoken about because they're all United legends and all that, and they understand the club. But they've not had any experience, whereas Van der Sar has, and that's what makes him stand out for me. I would love Van der Sar to be our director of football. He's my number one choice. But like I say, Sean Gota was spot on with what we were saying the other day. He was saying there's an arrogance at United, the belief that we're already made when we're obviously not. He also spoke about Paul Pogba, saying that Paul Pogba, for me, he says he knows that he's the main guy at United and he's trying to tick all the boxes. He's playing not within himself, he's not playing to his capabilities, he's trying to do more than that because he feels like he has to because he's the main guy. And I thought it's a good way to look at it, it really is. But I agree with the Van der Sar shout. I think that is definitely the one that we need to be looking at. Listen, we're not ready yet. Matic, Jones, Smalling and Young are going to play next season. Please don't scare us like that. None of us want that to happen. Woodward is my worry on the board. I think we're all worried about Woodward, especially like if you look at since Fergie left, the kind of transfers we have made, they've not been good enough. A 3-year project, long as Ollie can sign the players he wants and go against the Glazers, players without massive following, I've no doubt Ollie will succeed, says Patrick. Look, Ollie said he has a main side in the contract situations and in the transfers. I'm just hoping that Ollie gets the main say because I think Ollie needs the final say. Ollie needs to be in complete control. I love Solskjaer and I wanted him to be in charge. But now I must admit, as a fan, you have to say, yeah, it was romantic. And as a fan, you can be romantic, you can afford to be. But as a club, you need to be more logical and more business orientated as such. But I think, to be honest with you, I love Ollie and I completely back him and I want him to do well and I want him to be given complete charge of transfers. But I don't believe he will be given full charge of transfers. And that's the worry for me. I think as a fan, Solskjaer was a romantic decision, and of course we're allowed to be romantic as fans. I wanted him, but now I am starting to feel a bit doubtful. But I think he should be given the summer. He should be given the summer. He should be given the backing. Then judge him after that. I'm reading reports that he'll be sacked if we don't win today, which I think is ridiculous. I think, you know what? Look at the squad that he has got. But at the same time, you have to say he's continued to play Ashley Young at right back when he shouldn't have, and that's what makes me doubt him a little bit. But I'm hoping that after being given the backing in the summer, getting rid of the players that we need to get rid of, making the signings that he wants to make, hopefully Ollie will turn the haters around. Do you have patience for Ollie's rebuild? I think we have to have patience. At the end of the day, we have to be patient, because few people believed after the good run results when Solskjaer came in that was it, all doom and gloom had gone. That doesn't happen. It's going to take a long process, and we need to be patient as fans. At the end of the day, it's a rebuild, and it is a rebuild from scratch. That's what it needs to be now. George says lots of people who were fully behind Ollie when he was winning every game have flip-flopped to Poch off the back of his Champions League run. Yeah, look, Poch. I remember saying on United Stand a long time ago, Poch was the guy that we wanted, because we never believed that Ollie would be given the job, and then Ollie started doing well and he got the job. And like I say, as a fan, it's romantic to want Ollie in charge, and I did want Ollie in charge. But some of the decisions that he has made obviously do make you question a little bit. But for me, I personally think that he needs to be given the summer, he needs to be given the backing, he needs to be given the freedom to make his own decisions in the transfer window, then judge him. I'm not judging him on that, and I'm definitely not saying, oh, Poch has got to a Champions League final, let's have him now. I'm not saying that, because it's not fair to judge him on that. We shouldn't have even been competing for top four, and we were, and that's credit to Ollie. So we definitely need to be giving him credit for that, we really do. But with the squad that he's got, there's only so far that we can go. There really is. There's a limitation, which is why Jose getting second was a great achievement when you look at the kind of quality of players that we've got. So, like I say, let's back him in the summer. Let's give him the time, and I think hopefully he can shut some of the haters up. Man United women did get that trophy yesterday. Massive congrats to them. Absolutely buzzing that they are obviously going up now to WSL. They definitely deserve that. They're far too good for the league they were in, and I'm excited for next season. There's another City United derby next season, and I'm buzzing for that definitely. Look at how well he did, Ollie, when he didn't have a contract. We were awesome. United should have given it at the end of the season, and that's a mistake we made. Yeah, I think when certain players were comfortable, when they knew that Ollie was in charge and didn't have to play to prove themselves anymore, maybe it's not a coincidence that when he was given that contract, results obviously started to slip. Again, that's a question of the players that we've got and their mindset. It really is. There's an arrogance about a lot of them, and I've said that before. I can't see United winning anything significant for a good while. 5 years at least. Liverpool and City, I have to say, are miles ahead. They are miles ahead, and I completely agree with that. But we can't let them get any further ahead. I think we can't do that. We can't keep slipping into the background. We can't keep letting the world drift by sticking to our morals and staying loyal to players. We need to move on from that, which I'm hoping Ollie will do. Kevin says, hi Sophie, really like your content. Which players do you think will stay at United? Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate that. In terms of which players will stay, it's a tough one to call at the minute, isn't it? I want to keep Paul Pogba. I know people believe that I don't, but I only want to keep Paul Pogba if his heart is in it and his mind is in United. Because if it's not, and if it's not working out for him and he's not enjoying it, then he may as well go. We may as well get money for him. Lindelof, I think, should stay. I think he's been our most improved player. I was definitely shocked that he did not get Player of the Year. Luke Shaw, I would keep for now, because I think out of the back four, realistically, he's not the one that we need to be getting rid of as well. I think we need to be looking more at the right back position. He's not a priority at the minute. De Gea, of course, I would like to keep, but I tweeted out yesterday, one of our amigos has already gone. It's looking likely that Mata may go too. There's rumours of another year deal for him, but I can see De Gea leaving, and that kills me to say that, but I can see, and I said it months ago, De Gea, the situation with De Gea seems unusual, and I think that I can see him going this summer. Fingers crossed he doesn't, but who knows. Normally, I'd be fine if Herrera was to leave, as much as he's a great player in big games, but we've kept Jones and Smalling and Young. Exactly, Matthew, and I said that at the start of the video. I know you've just tuned in, but I completely agree with that. Herrera leaving has gutted me, it has, and it's made even worse by the fact of the players who we're keeping. Jones, Smalling, obviously Young. Need I even mention that? We're keeping players like that when realistically there should be a long list of players who are going before Herrera goes. And I read out some stats about the effect Herrera had on Pogba's performances, and it's absolutely ridiculous, and we're definitely going to miss him. if City are this far ahead now, we are finished. We need to spend 500 million at least to catch up with the quality that they have to be consistent. What I will say though, if we've thrown enough money away, we've thrown enough money at it, hoping that we'll just bring in Galacticos and that'll be that, and that doesn't work. Obviously, that does not work because the core of the squad is not good enough, and I think we do need to spend a lot of money. I agree, but I think we need to spend it on the right kind of players, which is what we have not been doing. We've wasted so much money. Alexis Sanchez, for example, what a waste of a deal that was. Probably the worst transfer of all time. Paul Pogba, like I say, doesn't seem to be working out, and now Herrera's gone. I definitely fear that even more. But I think all in all, like I've said, Solskjaer needs to be given the full backing. He needs to be given time in the summer. But yeah, who is your preferred centre back signing this summer? Koulibaly, De Ligt, Manolas, etc. I said all along Koulibaly was my one, but after watching De Ligt the last few games in the Champions League, for me, he will be one of the best centre backs, if not the best centre back in the league. I think he's phenomenal. De Ligt would be ideal, but I think he will go to Barcelona. I don't think we've got a chance for him, so I'd still say Koulibaly. I would also sign Toby as a backup at United. I would also get Toby for the 25 million price that's being spoken of because I think he's a leader. But like I said, if I'm dreaming and I'm choosing a player, it would be De Ligt. But I think he will be going to Barcelona. I can't see him coming to United. If we got Champions League, we'd obviously get more of a chance. But definitely now, I don't think we have a say in him. De Ligt is an absolute 5-story building. He is fantastic. For the age he's at as well, I think he's phenomenal. And like I say, he will be the best centre-back in the world. Varane as well, I've heard from Madrid. I would definitely take Varane at United. That's another signing. You didn't mention that in the list, but Varane would be a good one. But Koulibaly would be my ideal. But obviously not getting Champions League now, it makes you question who we'd actually be able to get. It is the players let Ollie down. They played well for him, hoping he'd get the job, and we're happy place. And as soon as he got the job, they didn't perform. It says a lot. I agree with that, Patrick. The second that they were secure, the manager was secure. It's like they're relaxed again, and that arrogance set in. And I think that mindset across the club, it's evident. It really is. And I don't think it's a coincidence that when Ollie's job was announced, when he was announced that he was signing the contract, the players definitely dipped in their performances. Unlikely we will ever know the full truth over how much Herrera was asking for in terms of wages. Suspect he was trying to rinse the club despite his passionate about the club. Yeah, like I say, George, I get that side of it. I really do. Like, if someone loves the club as much as they show, then money shouldn't be anything to worry about. But if you're looking at the wages that the likes of Alexis Sanchez are being paid for walking a dog every week, and you got Herrera, who he literally... He's probably our hardest working player, isn't he? And I think when you look into the side and you're seeing people who are doing a lot less and getting paid a lot more, it's natural to feel aggrieved. And I think if another club is offering the money that you're asking for, and like I say, agents get involved in it as well, I think it's more the treatment to the fact that Herrera's contract was being let to run down the way it did. And I think that was the issue. Obviously, money, yes, but I think the treatment by the board just was not good enough. He's an important player for us, and he wasn't treated like he was. Yes, I agree, nobody is bigger than the club, but the business from the board has been ridiculous, and Alexis Sanchez, for me, that deal was the major one to blame. Well done to Herrera. Don't blame me for getting out of here. A lot of people saying you're not leaving, you're escaping. Why are we keeping Matic? Another example. I do believe now Herrera's gone, we've got to sign some centre midfielders. We've definitely got to improve on that in the market. But like I say, without Champions League, you have to say what kind of players are we going to get, which is why we need to be looking at the likes of James, for example, from Swansea. I'm excited at that deal. But Rayola's ban is an interesting one as well, which obviously will affect Paul Pogba. He's had a worldwide ban, so hopefully Paul Pogba will now stay. Fingers crossed for that one. Paul Clayton's given me a bit of a chance. I appreciate that. But I'm going to finish off by talking about today's 8 games. Obviously, United are at home to Cardiff. Woohoo. Big deal. I'm going to say we should win that game, but I never know what to expect nowadays. But I do expect us to win that game, and the players will do their usual parade around the pitch at the end. I'm not even going to talk about that too much, but I expect us to win that game, and I'm going to say a 2-0 win. I'm hoping that we see a bit of youth in that game as well. So 2-0 to United for that one. Obviously, Wolves are travelling to Anfield today. Big game. Wolves have already won at Anfield, though, in the FA Cup, but I do think Liverpool obviously will be up for it, especially after that Barcelona result. They'll be absolutely buzzing. It's a massive game. Wolves have been known to take points off the top 6. However, are they already now going to be in holiday mode because they haven't really got anything to play for? So I think Liverpool are going to win that one. However, I'm praying that Wolves can pull another result out of the bag. I really am. So I'm supporting Wolves today for that one. Most people say I'm a Wolves fan anyway, so what's new there, eh? But I'm going to say 2-1 Liverpool winning that one. Then, of course, you've got Brighton playing against City. Again, I don't think City have played very well of late, to be honest with you. I don't think City have played well, but Sonic Champions have been getting the results. That company won the goal the other day, of course. So I'm actually not writing Brighton off as much as what people are. I'm going to say a lucky 1-0 win for City. Probably a scrappy Aguero goal to win it for them. So I'm expecting Liverpool and City to both win today. City obviously to go and win the league. That's my predictions. So they're the 3 games we're going to talk about today. But I'm expecting Liverpool and City to win. Praying for a City win at least today, because I can't see Liverpool winning the league. And then, of course, praying for a Spurs win in the Champions League final on the 1st of June as well. I was talking to Expressions about that one, saying I'm fully going to be backing Spurs for that one, definitely. And finally, guys, I just want to sign off by saying a massive thank you to everyone who voted for me for the FBAs. I mean, for me to even be nominated absolutely blew me away. I was obviously in a category with the likes of Troops, Mark, of course, True Geordie, some massive names in my category. So to even be put on a list amongst those names was absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for voting for me. I really appreciate it. I had such a good evening there, meeting a lot of young YouTubers, and the amount of people who recognised me, I was literally blown away. Like, people actually know who I am, which just astounded me. So thank you so much. I wouldn't be able to go there if it wasn't for you guys. So I appreciate it. I've got to shoot now because I'm about to go and travel to my football game today. I'm kind of happy that I'm playing at a time when all the games are going on, so I kind of miss it all. But yeah, thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to Hair Dryer Treatment. Of course, your support means a lot. Self-share episode I will do as usual on Wednesday. I apologise this week. It was kind of all a bit of a mismatch because of work and because of obviously the FBAs going on. So yeah, that'll be back as normal on Wednesday. But thank you guys so much. Have a good day. Fingers crossed City get the league today. Come on. And obviously, hopefully United win as well. Cheers, guys. Take care.